topics using the hashtag Table Talk or on Reddit r/SourceFed. I'm Meg Turney.
I'm Lee Newton.
And I'm Trisha Hirschberger. I'm also swallowing my coffee. All right.
We're also drinking coffee so intensely today because it's so cold in the office and we're losing our minds.
Cold.
It's like windy. It's like fall. I really
We should just
like
take a match and then light this as like our little hobo
a
fire.
little bonfire and be like,
That'd be great.
And then you have to put your hand in the fire to get the topic.
Yeah.
I had actual hand warmers in my hands yesterday, and it was lovely. And I know you can all make fun of me because it's LA, and it was a whopping like 65 degrees, and I used hand warmers, but I did, and it was lovely.
But in this office, it's -5 all the time.
And all the guys always say, "But it's so nice. Don't you think it feels nice?"
I'm wearing a TARDIS on the bottom half of me. A TARDIS Snuggie.
I'm wrapped in my Michelangelo Snuggie almost all the time. I don't have it right now because I didn't think to bring it over here. All right. Dong Dong Ah on Reddit says,
Sure.
have you ever feel like you are in the Truman Show?
Well, I have ever felt like that a lot.
Have you ever feel like you're...
Have you ever feel like you're a Truman Show? I don't know. I think I've had those Truman Show moments. It's actually weird because I was just talking to a friend who she's like, oh, I had a Truman Show moment, and I was like, oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing? But like, we always like akin that to like when he actually hits the wall, and like sometimes in your life you like, don't you have those moments with people where you're like, I hit the Truman wall with you, and you're like, oh, you're a giant fake everything, and so yeah, like those are my Truman Show moments.
I've never heard that expression, hitting the Truman wall with somebody.
Well, yeah, you like hit the Truman, you like it's a Truman Show moment when you go like, oh, like you're just. You're
playing
fake, or
someone
like,
else
or like
all the time.
The veil is lifted,
Yeah,
or like
exactly.
something else is lifted off.
No,
Even like with Hollywood, like veils get lifted all the time. Where you're like, oh, this isn't this easy or this simple or whatever.
My Truman Show moments are always just like extreme paranoia. Like something interesting will happen, I'll be like, someone has to have planned that. Who's watching me? Like I get very like snow globe theory.
No,
like there has to be people watching, like some higher being or some other dimension or maybe cameras.
legitimately.
I don't know what it is, but this can't be real life.
I think about, two things. So I always think about Truman Show if I end up like there's nobody in line, and then I'm like, oop, I forgot my suspenders, and then I go back and there's 6 people in line, and I'm like, damn,
That's what I mean. When
Truman.
you're like,
Truman Show. Yeah, those
that
Truman Show
happens.
moments.
this can't
And
be
then-
real life.
Yeah. The other thing is, my dad had top security clearance, and so in the Air Force, he was in for 21 years, and so he was just always like, he would make like jokes like, oh, you know, they're listening, and so then I was always convinced people were listening to me as a teenager. It went, you know, when you make a joke, someone it goes so much deeper. That happened to me. So then I would do this thing where I would laugh at things on the internet in my room completely by myself, and then I'd be like, okay, well, I'm laughing because today, like, I don't want the person who was listening to me
You
to
would
think
justify?
Oh, your poor mom sitting outside like, I just don't know what to do. She's talking to herself.
Well, what that means, Meg, is you're perfect for vlogging in the internet because you
that's, like,
already
exactly it.
I would
explain
literally
everything.
sit in my room and be like, oh, it's funny because Kelly made that joke today in science, and it was so funny. Because I was trying to make the person who was listening to me not think I was crazy, and I looked even crazier in doing
legitimately.
that.
They're like, well, we weren't listening before, but this one's
This
a
bitch
total
crazy.
cuckoo.
I always thought if there was someone watching me, they would think I was nuts because I crack myself up all the time for stuff that's not that funny. Like, I remember I was walking in the mall about something and, like, tripped over the bottom stair and then looked up and this baby was making a hilarious face at me and I just bust up laughing. It was hilarious. I'm like, anyone who's looking at me right now thinks
It's like,
I'm absolutely
I guarantee you,
nuts.
that's the thing. Like, you can't ever have a camera on you at one, because I talk to my pudding constantly. I'm like, pudding for me, it's happening.
I've heard
it.
And it's like,
I've heard it.
I sing what I'm doing.
yeah, it's a lot. So I'm gonna look like a total maniac. They'd be like the Truman Show, with like, but it's mainly about pudding.
Well, the good thing about that is then everyone would realize that the maniac inside of them is normal.
It's normal. Yeah, that is a good thing. And Drew's like violently shaking.
Yeah,
her
Drew's
head.
like,
He's
not
"That's
him."
not a thing
So,
that
Meg,
needs to
I have a
happen."
question for you. With your dad's security clearance, what can you tell me about Roswell and aliens?
Here's what I can tell you. Actually, I don't know if I can say. Later on, I can tell you something. Also, he would not tell me if he believed in aliens or not.
That means
And
they're real.
I have something interesting to tell you when there's not a camera.
That means they're real, and now I'm never gonna go to sleep. Yeah.
Also,
real.
right before the camera cuts, the whole table's gonna explode. Before
Yeah,
I can tell you.
100%. Oh, we're talking about aliens because it's a topic that.
It's not weird to do that.
She yelled because we were having an argumentative
It's weird.
conversation.
Yep.
It's weird, and I did it.
It's weird. I did it.
All right.
That's a
Dillian
tiny
T.A.
print.
I know. From Reddit says, if you could take any fictional creature and release it in the time of the dinosaurs in hopes it would flourish, what would it be?
Any fictional creature. Well, I would feel like because there are similar dragons, right? Because they're similar to dinosaurs in the sense
You
of
want those
like,
to flourish? Think they're not going to off all mankind?
Yeah. That's like
I
the
guess so.
equivalent of medieval nuking.
Maybe it's because I sit there and I think like, mother of dragons, but I always assume that I would have a kinship with them, and I probably would not actually if we're going to be totally serious.
Well, some people do,
Believe it
but
or not.
usually it has to do with your bloodline.
I think I have a thing with dogs. Like, I've never met a dog that I didn't... No, I've met a dog that I didn't like, but that was because of the owner. You know what I mean? They're like, shitty owner, and the dog's an asshole. But I've never met... Like, I love dogs. I feel like I could be a whisperer of some sort.
So you'd be like a mother
Dragon
of,
whisperer.
I'd be like a
Mother
dragon
of dogs.
whisperer. So I'd be the mother of dogs.
Hey, but then you have to think about how many dragons are in said army because, what's their wingspan? How close can they get to each other? And then do you have,
Different
like,
question.
massive...
We're not doing the army. It's the
Okay,
time of
you
dinosaurs.
immediately went dragon army.
Oh, I did
Oh.
go dragon army.
Oh, man.
We're in the time of
Guys?
dinosaurs.
Somebody read the topics before.
Give
they were
me
supposed
that
to.
question again.
If you could
Where
take
is
an
it?
animal back to the time
Back
of
to
the
the time of the
dinosaurs,
dinosaurs.
to hope it would flourish.
Flourish.
Oh, I
Like
didn't
a
hear that at all.
Oh, unicorns, duh, right? Unicorns.
Yep.
Because they need to happen. Unicorns.
So we would
Unicorns.
have them now.
Yes.
Yes.
Fictional, but you would hope they would
Hope-
flourish. You
hope
don't
they
know
would
if they would or
flourish.
not. Fictional creature would hope it flourished.
Dodo bird.
But it's
Oh,
not a
gremlins.
fictional. That's not a fictional creature.
I'm thinking Alice in Wonderland dodo bird.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, then that is a fictional creature.
That's
Ma'am?
a fictional
Okay, if we're
creature.
How
doing
have you
that,
been
then I would like the
drinking?
caterpillar to be. I'd like the caterpillar.
Guess
to fly.
marine caterpillar.
Who are you?
You guys are just hoping everyone's on LSD all the
Who
time.
Yeah, legitimately. I can only think of like unicorns and even dragons are like, well, they're really gonna mess things up. So
What
I don't know.
about Pegasus?
Oh, Pegasi is a good one, right? Anything that can fly is a real solid
I might
thing.
actually be into riding horses if there were Pegasi.
I rode horses when I was younger.
Yeah,
I
same.
loved it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
It
really
is
fun.
a really fun.
Were
I
you-
missed it a lot.
Were you girls, ladies that wanted ponies as little kids?
No, not ponies. Ponies terrify me. Ponies like
Ponies
that's
are
a legitimate,
assholes.
Yeah. No, that's a
Really?
legitimate. They're
Ponies
assholes.
are assholes.
Yeah,
See,
they're
I
literally
feel like
rude. And
animals scare me. Horses are a little too big and maybe scary. Ponies might be an okay segue.
The only
No.
time I've ever been bucked off of anything was a pony.
Yeah. See,
Really?
no,
Yeah.
they're assholes. They are jerks. They're legitimate. Like
You guys are blowing my mind right
they're,
now.
They're really
Dicks.
mean. They're dicks, and they're like gross. Is that weird?
they're a
to
little
be like
weird.
they're a little weird. Like
Sorry,
I'm just like
ponies.
literally
They're a
like
little weird.
mainly because of their like stupid little bangs, and they're like. You know, like,
Horses are
literally, it's
super
like-
nice.
it's like-
They're not scary.
You're like, get out of here!
Yeah.
Super attitude.
Super attitude.
Very attitudey.
They're like the rebel in every class, but still they bite.
They do
bite.
Well, horses can bite too.
Pony bite. Yeah, that's a
Pony bite. That sounds like a
Pony
sweet
bite.
like ska band.
Pony bite. Pony bite.
I would say I'm gonna go unicorn. I think that's a
Yeah,
great answer,
that's
Lee.
it, yeah.
I support your answer. I'm
Thank
gonna go
you.
unicorn.
Mother of unicorns.
I'm in. Pegasi was kind of close to unicorn.
Oh, well, what about a Pegasus unicorn? Drew says alicorn.
All the corn?
Corn. We hope that it flourishes.
Here's the thing. Last night, this is total off topic, but speaking of corn, last
Oh,
night
no.
I was talking to my mom on the phone and I was like, you know what? I want a bowl of corn with some butter in it, and I didn't have any corn, and I was severely disappointed.
But did you like
Why
go
didn't
get
you
it?
go to the store and get some corn?
Well, but it wasn't worth going. It was like just what was
You
in my
can
pantry.
always call your friend Trisha that lives pretty close, and I can bring you corn.
I could have bought it. I just was thinking.
Insane to be like, bring me corn.
Corn.
Dude, if you have a craving.
I have usually always green beans and corn, and those are like my, if I'm not hungry for like super
yeah,
hungry
that's
for
like
dinner, I have a can of green beans.
I do that with peas.
I get that with
Ugh.
collard greens, and everyone thinks I'm weird.
That's not.
And I
real
just
big.
bought Brussels sprouts for the first time, and I made sure to buy them with some bacon so that I can do that nice little Brussels sprouts cooked in bacon grease like
It's
you
a
get at
legit
restaurants.
thing. That's
Ooh, I'm so
delicious.
excited for that night.
I not know what that means. You want to pick a top?
You've never had that Brussels sprouts like
It's really
cooked in
good.
bacon grease?
It's good.
Oh.
It's the only thing that makes Brussels sprouts good.
And
didn't.
not really healthy
And
anymore.
not really
but
healthy
good.
anymore at all. All right, Jackie Coate, or Tinker Mel 09, that's adorable, said, if you could create any army out of a mythological creature, what would it be and why? I mean, guys,
That's-
Again, that's very similar.
That's where my
Dragon
head
army.
was. Yeah, but dragon army wingspan, can they be close enough together to be an effective army?
Yes.
Yeah.
Easily.
They're
And
like
they
a
can
flock
also
of birds. They like know. They're not. They're
And
not
do they work
they're
together?
not
Like,
now
are
your
they?
wings."
Well, but are they How to Train Your Dragon dragons, or are they?
Here's the thing,
You know?
it's your mythological army. You tell us what army.
Oh,
what kind of
well,
dragons
if
they
you
are.
get to make like telepathically working together dragons, then yes.
Then done.
Dragons. OP. Done.
Because that's like an ultimate army. Because you
Yep.
got the tail, you got spike tails, you got fire, you got cunning, you got flight. Duh.
Here's the thing. Yes, dragons, but also dinosaurs. Various
Oh, that's-
types of
They're
dinosaurs.
not
So I got like
mythological, though.
that's true. They're not mythological. I thought I was gonna go in with like all my different types of dinosaurs.
Yeah, that'd be
Fair.
good
That
too.
would be a solid
all
army.
right. Mythological creature.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go, and I don't really know the implications of this. I'm gonna go army of Dobbies.
Oh, shit! House elves?
Well, they can do magic.
Yeah, they can.
Also, they look like my dog, so Penny would fit right
Dobby
into there.
does, yeah.
There'd be a
she
lot
does
of
look
little
lot like
pennies
Dobby.
walking around.
Oh, I love Dobby so much. Did you cry? I cried when he died.
Wait, he died!
Spoiler alert!
Oh, Meg!
Spoiler
Oh,
alert!
Meg!
No!
I'm so sorry, but in all
he got a
fairness,
sock, and then he was
Okay, well, yeah, that's in the early books.
Oh, really?
I'm so sorry.
I'm
but
not gonna read the book.
I know, but
not.
I
But
mean,
we're
I feel
gonna
like we're-
marathon the movies. We are gonna marathon the movies because
I mean-
this can't be a thing
This
anymore.
yeah, he died. Like, I mean, it was spoiler alert, but that was like a spoiler alert 5 years ago. Oh
Well-
man. Oh, also, Bruce Willis is dead.
You know what? I never got to see that movie because someone spoiled
Because
it.
someone
Me
that
too.
is bullshit. I really hate when
Me
people
too.
do that. That's
Yeah.
a bullshit thing when people are
100%,
like,
yes.
"Oh, plug your ears." It's like crazy because and you're like, "No, just don't, just don't."
Just don't. Just
Something
don't
that
tell me the
big.
spoilers.
Just
No
don't
doing.
tell me about it.
No
oh, dragons
doing.
and dobbies.
Dragons and Dobbies and Dobbies
Dobbies
and
and
dragons.
This is a real good song.
Wow.
Dobbies and
Dragons
Dobbies
and dragons and
Dobbies. No more words. Just
Is that? These are a few of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Was the
Dragons
the
and
melody
dobbies and
we
dobbies
used.
and dragons.
See? It's already a thing.
Really good.
We should record a Christmas
I
album
know.
called Dobbies and Dragons.
It's just, we put it in every Dobbies and dragons.
Those are the only lyrics?
Dragons.
I don't
I
support
would
this
buy
Christmas
that.
album.
I would buy that.
No.
We should
Support your
kickstart it.
Christmas
Yeah, we would support your Christmas album of,
Thank you.
of you going, I don't want to sing this. I don't want to sing this for most of the record.
That's the background vocals.
You and Elliot Morgan just going,
No.
I don't want to sing. Am I done?
Is this
Am
just
I done?
a 7
Am I
minute
done?
track of silence? yeah, it is.
Here we go. At CaterB22 says, if you could go back in time and
Oh.
tell your significant other one thing before they meet you, would you? Why or why not? Let's just say future husband. What, like,
Tell them one thing before they meet you.
before they meet
What
you?
are they gonna need to know? I'm an
I
open
feel
book.
like I feel like they'll eventually figure it out anyway. Like my first go-to is when I start dating someone, I would like them to know ahead of time how weird I am.
Oh, very nice.
But I
Excellent.
feel like after I don't know a few dates, they understand how weird I am. Like I feel like that's
I
come
don't
out.
know. I don't. Yeah, there's nothing I would want to tell. I feel like I would go back in time and tell myself some stuff, but
Oh, what would
know.
you tell yourself?
There'd be a lot of things that I'd like.
Oh,
try
this
and
is a good
avoid,
question.
right?
This is
like,
a good
wouldn't there
spin-off
be,
question.
like-
What would you tell yourself?
I
going
would
into
tell
dating?
myself like, okay, well, going to date. Oh, I would tell myself like, well, with past relationships, I'd be like, hey, like this next year and a half, you're gonna try and make it work, and it's not gonna
And
work.
it's just get out
Like,
now.
you should just get out.
I
have
feel
a
like
lot of
everything I'd want to tell myself at any age boils down to just, hey, chill out, okay?
Chill out. Okay, hey, come. It's gonna be okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a lot of
Well,
that.
that's
Yeah.
definitely, I feel like, the high school advice. Is I know
Oh.
this seems really important. It's gonna be all right. I feel like every relationship you go through, you learn something new.
Yeah.
So like where I am now, I have like a list of probably 10 or 15 things that I would have loved to know
Yeah.
when I was younger.
But I feel like you do have to like kind of. It is that weird learning thing. Believe it or not, you know when your parents tell you something, you're like, great, yeah, whatever, and then you're like, okay, so you were right.
Yeah, you
not
gotta-
a big deal.
No, wait, kids never say you were right. They're like, what I learned was, it's like this crazy thing where,
Yeah.
like, you shouldn't date the asshole who's an asshole on your friends.
Weird, right?
So weird.
And they're like, okay, great.
See,
exactly what I told you.
I straight up called my mom and was like, Mom, you're so smart. I don't know why I didn't listen to you. I'm sorry.
And she was like, it's okay.
See, my family is like, you gotta learn on your own. You gotta learn your own,
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah,
That's
they're
my-
very much.
my
That's my
family's like
family
that,
too,
yeah.
where it's just very much like she is. Well, my mom's like a psychiatrist, and like my dad is very adept in everything, and so they're always kind of like, here's our concerns.
Yeah.
You know, and, you're always like, and so they're never like a fuck you moment of anything of like, you know, like, I bet I love him, and like slamming
Oh, I
doors.
just know that my family's all super strong-willed, and it's like, you're not going to tell him anything or her anything
Yeah.
that's going to change your mind.
Exactly.
You can just say, like, man, she kind of sucks, but you're going to do what you're going to do.
Exactly.
So what would you tell yourself?
is.
What would you tell yourself? Or if you could tell yourself anything right now?
If I could go back in time.
If you could go back in time, like, what advice now would you have for yourself then?
Like in dating, just stand up for yourself, like legitimately, like you're fucking worth it. Like I would tell everyone that because that is a thing that we always feel like we have to tend to default. There's 7 billion people in the world, probably more, but you're gonna find someone that will treat you right and treat you how you need to be treated
For you.
For you, and it's like you are. It's one life, so you better be with someone special. Like, that's it. One life, you better be with.
That was
like,
lovely,
thank you.
Lee.
Thanks, guys.
It's
Thanks.
one life. Yeah,
How about you, Shish?
I would say if you're ever with anyone that's super jealous or controlling, run. I know when I was younger, like I thought that was okay, and I thought that was just normal. It's
manly.
not. Get away from that person. Or people that don't know who they are and are really scrambling to figure that out. That people go through that phase, but I don't know that they should be in a serious committed relationship when they're going through that phase. Wait till people know who they are. And people who fight over the small stuff, not worth it. Life's too short.
I would say that a relationship is like a house, and you can't build any piece of that house until your personal house is in order. So make sure you, as a person, are all polished with your white picket fence before you start building a house with anybody else.
And
what would you say to yourself
that's
if you could
good.
go back in time?
That's
Yeah. What would you say to yourself if you could go back in time? This has been the most view that we've ever had. It's very much like
Are we
the
very
View.
the View
I would
today?
say that to myself.
Oh, if I could go back and tell somebody before they date me anything, actually, it would be wear Aqua Reef Old Spice deodorant because, God,
It smells so good.
it's on my pits right now.
Meg has been doing it for a while now, and she smells like a dude.
It smells so good. I love it. Anyway, guys, it's get in there.
She
'cause
smells like
it's
a boy.
delicious.
It smells great.
See, but I don't know if boys want to smell boy.
I
when
don't
they're
wear
near
my
you.
boy deodorant when I'm with boys. Guys, what would you tell yourself? Please let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already. Submit your topics, #Table Talk or r/SourceFed. I'm Meg Turney.
I'm a nerd.
I'm just ready. You sound like the Micro Machines commercial.
I know.
Don't forget to do this, and you can submit your
Crossfire!
Love it.
Dragons and dobbies and dobbies and dragons. Dragons and dobbies and dobbies and dragons. Dragons and dobbies and dobbies.
You can't
and
pick
dragons.
other favorite things
Dragons and
besides
dobbies
dragons
and
and
dobbies
dobbies.
and dragons.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like dobbies and dragons, but there's so many other wonderful
Dragons and
things.
dobbies and dobbies and dragons.
Nope.